celebrating 40 years with the Toyota 4Runner.
It's the 40th anniversary edition. Let's go.
Here we go.
Whoa. Easy, there's a dinosaur. There's a dinosaur under the hood, Andrea.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, an old engine, been around for a while, but bulletproof. What is under the hood of this thing, Andrea?
A 4-liter V6 with a 5-speed automatic transmission. 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque. Available part-time 4-wheel drive, full-time 4-wheel drive, and in the US you even get a rear-wheel drive option.
Did you say 4-liter V6? That's been around for a while.
I did.
And I'm not sure if you heard that. 5-speed automatic.
I know, 5.
At the 90s called, they want their transmission back.
I mean, people complain about the 6-speed in the Mazda. This is 5.
All right, let's get into what do you get with the base model 4Runner.
The 4Runner comes with a 4.2-inch gauge cluster, an 8-inch touchscreen, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, an 8-speaker audio system, power and heated front seats, soft text upholstery, a moonroof, a heated steering wheel, 17-inch wheels, and Toyota Safety Sense, including blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert. In the US, you don't get as many standard features. The base trim is missing the moonroof, a heated steering wheel, heated front seats, and power front seats.
So in a second, we're going to run through what do you get with the 40th anniversary edition. Right now, what are we going to put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure you like and subscribe. Also, follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes on the channel. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. Okay, first things first, Andrea. I'm feeling very tall over here.
I know. I'm looking over there at you, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you sitting up so high? Should I raise my seat? I don't think so, because then I'm way too high. But I have a height adjustment over here.
I do not.
No.
I'm way up here in housewares. I'm at the glass ceiling. All right, let's get into this 40th anniversary edition. You can't miss it with the stripe down the side. What else is it just cosmetic?
The interior has got the 40th edition badging. You see it on the exterior and interior, and also there's some bronze stitching, but overall you get this stripe. You get a variety of colors: red, white, and of course black, which I actually think looks really cool, quite retro looking in the black. You also get the bronze 17-inch wheels and a heritage style front grille with Toyota spelled out in bronze.
I like the wheels. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure. I'm never one to embrace anniversary editions, only because it dates your car the very next year. Yeah. That's a year old, and then it's 2 years old, then it's 4 years old. It's like the great thing about the 4Runner, you can't tell how old it is. With this one, you know exactly what year it is.
That is true, but I think that this might be worth some money one day. I
Maybe.
mean, 20 years from now, you've got the 40th anniversary model. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm getting a very retro vibe out of this. I like it a lot. This 4Runner comes standard with LED headlights and LED tail lights. You get standard 17-inch wheels, available 20-inch chrome exterior door handles, and a full-size temporary spare tire.
I remember when the first one came out, I worked with a guy named Carl Kraftchick. He was a courier in Toronto, and he bought the very first 4Runner. And back in those days, it really was like a pickup truck where they put a top on it.
Yeah.
He put hundreds and hundreds of thousands of kilometers or miles on those vehicles for work, and he swore by Toyota.
I love the rugged looks of this. This 4Runner, I have to be honest with you, is probably one of my favorite Toyota models. I get it. It's old. The engine is
you love
old.
me and I'm old.
The 5-speed automatic transmission is old. There's a lot of old things about it, but at the same time, it's old school, it's traditional, and I like it. What happens when you try and pass on the highway? Well, it gets loud, it's a little bit sluggish, but once you get up to highway speeds, you just cruise along.
It's amazing. They've done a very good job because it's a body on frame. What does that mean? It's not. It's essentially like a pickup truck chassis, a big steel chassis, and then they bolt the body on top. So that's a body on frame. That's what we're dealing with this. So it's more capable. It can tow. It can go off road. It can do all those things. But it's interesting to see how car companies have been able to isolate the body and the chassis from the cabin. Even though it's rugged, we're driving now and it's really quite smooth.
Zach and I were in the TRD model. We don't know if it was the Sport, the Pro, the off-road, we can't remember, but the suspension was quite firm. We thought when we got into this 40th anniversary model that it would be similar. It's actually more comfortable. The suspension doesn't feel as firm. The steering really isn't super heavy. I wouldn't say that the turning radius is great in this, but it's easy enough to maneuver in and out of the city.
I think the 17-inch wheels go a long way to making it very comfortable because you got so much sidewall on the side of the tire. And then you turn your attention to the inside, Andrea, and you know that this is an old one because it's got all the old stuff in here, which I kind of like, classic analog gauges.
Yeah.
And then the old school buttons and radio. It works.
Well, it was kind of weird getting into this because all of the vehicles that we review, as you know, are brand new. And they're all very modern, especially some of the Korean products. This is old. This has got a lot of plastic. It comes only with an 8-inch touchscreen. At least it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's wired, but it's missing things like a wireless charger.
Oh, a height adjustment for the passenger seat, yeah.
Heated rear seats, a powered tailgate. Oh my goodness, I had my hands full of groceries, and it's those little things that you're used to that you have to try and close that tailgate when you have lots of groceries in your hand.
But look,
I know.
you get the power. It's one of those weird things. If you're going to put power in for the window, which is one of the very few vehicles that still has a separate either roll down glass or flip up glass. It's great if you have a dog. They can stick their head on a hot day when you're parked outside, which is kind of cool. But give me the power. I couldn't live without a power tailgate after having one.
I could pull the groceries out, put the window down and do it that way, but
steps.
I can't get to the back. That's my only problem. But there is something refreshing about being in such a traditional vehicle. It just reminds me of, old school vehicles because this really hasn't had many updates along the way.
You know what? People who buy these, they're buying into the whole Toyota 4Runner vibe. So it's a lot of the same people that would really want a Toyota Tacoma pickup truck, but maybe they need an SUV. So it can do a lot of the same things, and those are immensely popular, and so are these.
I think that Zach probably likes the Tacoma more than me, and I like the 4Runner more than he likes the 4Runner. Am I right in saying that?
Well, I like the functionality of having a pickup truck. The one I want is the Maverick Hybrid. But it is what it is. It's old school, and you are going to decide whether you like it or not.
As we mentioned earlier, in key standard features, it comes with some nice things. But if you want those extras, there's quite a few packages to choose from, like the TRD Off-Road, TRD Sport, TRD Pro, Limited, and of course this 40th anniversary model. Available features include full-time 4-wheel drive, Fox shock absorbers, crawl control and multi-terrain select, a multi-terrain view monitor, a 360 camera, a kinetic dynamic suspension system, and sport enhanced suspension. Other available features include ventilated front seats, driver's seat memory, leather seats, and a 15-speaker JBL sound system.
The back seat is quite comfortable. There's certainly a lot of headroom and legroom. How does it stack up?
Well, it also reclines up to 16 degrees, so it does make it quite comfortable back there. Comparing the 4Runner to some of its competitors like the Nissan Pathfinder, Jeep Wrangler, and Ford Bronco, front row legroom is good at 41.6 inches, but the Pathfinder and Bronco offer more. Second row legroom, on the other hand, is the smallest at 32.9 inches.
And here I am lifting up the manual power tailgate on this 40th anniversary edition. And what you see is what you get. It's fairly wide and fairly deep. However, there is no removable floor to get extra space underneath.
Overall cargo space at 89.7 cubic feet, and space behind the second row at 47.2 cubic feet is the largest compared to its competitors.
You guys seem to be conflicted on this one. Some people think it's a dinosaur, other people love it.
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
I think in the world with so-called SUVs, the 4Runner still has its place as a body-on-frame SUV. I think it is one of the few that can truly go off-road. Will it be redesigned soon or updated? Well,
there's a lot of speculation about that.
Yeah, we're hearing the 2024 model year, but this hasn't been confirmed by Toyota that it's a full redesign. And then there's rumors that that's being pushed to 2025. So I don't really know.
So Toyota has done all of their mainline cars, like the Corolla, the RAV4, and so on, over the last few years. And now they've turned their attention to body-on-frame trucks. We're going to actually get it next week, is the Toyota Sequoia. So we're looking forward to that. Then they have to do the regular Tacoma, and obviously this one as well. So it's all part of the body-on-frame family, and once it's started, and it has, they're going to be updated.
Yeah. What a beast. I've always loved the rugged looks of the 4Runner. What do you think when comparing the Highlander to the 4Runner? Besides the obvious 4Runner for off-road and Highlander for on-road.
Well, it's the size, I think, really. Yeah. This is not nearly as big. You got to remember the Highlander shares the platform with the Sienna minivan, right? So think about how many people you can put in a minivan. So the Highlander is practical for moving people. This is for going places.
Yeah, and I would say that the Highlander is more refined. It offers a smoother drive. It's a bit floaty. Take your time in it. Enjoy it. It's comfortable. This is a little bit more engaging. You know, it drives like a truck. This also has an available third row in Canada. It's on the limited trim, but in the US, it actually is available on a variety of trims, including the base model.
I've never seen that.
I can't imagine that.
I've never seen it personally. I wouldn't put my grandmother or my mother-in-law back there.
Definitely.
But this, one thing you notice with this compared to, say, a mid-size like a Highlander, it's not as wide.
Yeah.
And you're missing that space.
We put out a lot of content each week on the Motormouth YouTube channel, and it's super easy to find.
All you do is go to the YouTube search bar and type in Motormouth, the name of the channel, then the brand you're looking for. In this case, it's Toyota, and all our videos pop up. There's a lot of them.
With the new generation 4Runner coming out soon with rumors of a Turbo 4, would you still recommend buying this dinosaur? With more vehicles coming out with off-road in mind, do they make reliable family vehicles? I'm thinking of part-time four-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive. Well, reliable. Oh my goodness, this is so reliable.
Quick story, we have 3 neighbors that have or have had 4Runners. One, it was in an accident, was written off. Another neighbor has one that's 25 years old, and every single time he goes to the gas station, which is a lot, he has somebody offering to buy it off him. These things have a cult following. It's a vehicle you could own and drive and enjoy, and then when you want to get rid of it, there's a long lineup of dudes who want to take these and go off-roading and things with them.
Yeah, and even our friends, our neighbors who have the brand new one, they were actually in an accident but were able to repair it, and they had to drive different vehicles in the meantime until it was ready to be picked up, and they said, we can't believe how much we miss it. So it's like there's 2 camps. Some people will say, oh my gosh, it's such a dinosaur, why would you buy this at such an expensive price point? And then others, they just love it.
And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
It's so sad that an agricultural tractor is in production for 15 years without a change, and people still buying it for almost $60,000.
As a dinosaur, I can relate.
You're not a dinosaur. I don't know. Okay, I get it's a dinosaur, but tractor?
Yeah.
Well, I really like it.
Okay, let's just go through resale value for this is unbelievably high. And I think one of the reasons is because it is an old platform with a known engine transmission and amazing resale value. So who's got the last laugh? I think the people who buy these. You know,
and you're right. This pricing for this base model is just under $55,000 in Canada and just under $40,000 in the US. You're right. This is expensive, but people are buying them, so they must like this retro feel that it offers. It's missing all of the bells and whistles that we're seeing in modern vehicles, but it sells and it's hard to get one, and it's hard to get one used.
Think about the G-Wagon from Mercedes-Benz. That started out as a military vehicle for the most part, and it didn't change forever. And people lined up and paid pure luxury dollars for what was essentially an off-road army truck.
Yeah.
And they have incredible resale. The best-selling used vehicles, you can look at the numbers, are pretty much body-on-frame trucks. Chevy Tahoes, Cadillac Escalades, 4Runners. The old FJ Cruiser had the best resale value.
Why did you get rid of that?
The Wrangler, the Bronco will also have incredible resale value. That's why you buy this.
I actually kind of feel sorry for Toyota with this whole redesign of the 4Runner, because they have a lot to live up to. They've got to create something that's a bit retro. They've got to modernize the interior.
And the engine.
Yeah, and the engine. And I mean, I really hope that people like what they're going to come forward with, because this is a pretty special vehicle.
So how much can it tow? Wait for the fuel economy. It's shockingly bad. But first of all, the vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. The base trim starts at just under $55,000, and the top TRD Pro is just over $70,000. In the US, the base trim starts at just over $39,500, and the top trim is just over $54,000.
Here's the fuel economy. It's not great. 14.9 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 12.6 on the highway. That's only 16 miles per gallon in the city, 19 miles per gallon on the highway. But it can tow 5,000 pounds. The warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. In the United States, you get complimentary maintenance for 2 years, or 25,000 miles. So there really are, in the non-luxury space, not many vehicles that go directly up against this. So let's get into what else you can buy.
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Jeep Wrangler 4-door. It comes standard with a 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, 285 horsepower, and a starting price of just over $50,500.
The 4-door Ford Bronco with a 2.3-liter turbo 4-cylinder with up to 300 horsepower and a starting price of $51,000.
The Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 3.6-liter V6, 293 horsepower, and a starting price just over $56,500.
The Nissan Pathfinder with a 3.5-liter V6 and 284 horsepower and a starting price of $46,000.
So there are 4 off-road capable SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round. 2 things we like, 2 things we'd like to see improved.
Well, I like this whole retro vibe that the 4Runner offers.
I am enthralled with the resale value.
What I'd like to see improved? Well, I mean, I don't even know where to begin.
We have more than 2. Let's just say new engine, new transmission, new interior, but still have it look cool and ride cool.
Yeah. All of that, Toyota. Oh, so popular. You can't go wrong with a 4Runner for reliability and resale value.
There's never a bad time to buy one of these, if you can get one.